Why does February only have 28 days?
Don't leave to any conclusions. We'll have the answer after this.
We're going to try to make this as simple as possible, but it is not a simple story. How did we end up with February being the only month with 28 days? To find out, we have to go all the way back to the 8th century BCE. Back in that time, the Romans used the calendar of Romulus. It was a 10-month calendar that kicked the year off in March with the spring equinox and ended in December. January and February didn't even exist. And kind of interestingly, the way it worked is the winter was a sort of nebulous period that was not part of the month system. Basically, they'd start off the calendar at some point when the winter had ended. So there was times of the year when it would just be like, it's no month.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. And that kind of came from the idea of like that wasn't the harvest season, so it didn't really matter to them.
Who cares? Yeah. It's the dark times. Winter is coming, and when it is, we're not going to keep track of it. Then in 713 BCE, King Numa Pompilius lined the calendar up with the year's 12 lunar cycles, a span of about 355 days, obviously bringing it much closer to the current system. He introduced January and February. The months were added to the end of the calendar, making February the last month of the year. And so right there we get a lot closer to our current time, but that is still 10 days off, which means that over a period of a few years, eventually the seasons start to go out of whack with the calendar, and the entire purpose of having one, being able to line up dates with particular like harvest seasons, no longer works perfectly.
Right.
So after a few years went by, it would eventually fall out of sync. So to keep things straight, the Romans would occasionally insert a 27-day leap month called Mercedonius. The Romans would erase the last couple of days of February and start the leap month off on February 24th. So this caused a couple of different problems.
Right.
One, the fact that it's sort of arbitrarily being inserted when they feel like it's necessary.
Whatever.
And even when they do that, they then modify the number of days in a current month. It's not an elegant system by any means.
Right, and my favorite part of this part of the story is that they would, the leaders who were choosing to like add the month whenever they wanted would choose so it like politically help them. Like if they wanted to extend their term or something like that, or extend somebody's term who they like their policies or something like that. So that would be interesting if that's how politics work. Like, no, we have 4 years, but we'll just add a little extra at the end.
Well, actually, that's what dictators basically do.
Right.
Like, I said I wouldn't run again, but I'm just going to be a dictator for life.
Stay here, yeah.
And then my son's going to be dictator. So eventually, Caesar aligned the calendar with the sun and added a few days so that everything added up to 365, which of course should seem pretty familiar to you. February, which by then was at the top of the calendar, kept its 28 days. So they had a stigma against months ending in an even number, so they tried to make as many odd as possible. There's a belief that it's possible that February might have been kept at an even number because it was when a lot of the rites of sort of like burial and stuff like that were going on. It was already considered an unlucky month, and so they didn't mind making it double unlucky, although some people say that that's apocryphal. But anyway, so it took a long time, but we've reached this system. It has lasted us a long time. We still have to do every 4 years, we do the leap year, but that's the system we have today.
Well, I'm really glad February made the cut since both of our birthdays are in February.
Yeah. If they had not done this system, we would be in purgatory now. I think that's how that works.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is sort of one of those random things that we just sort of take for granted, that February has 28 days, but we're surrounded by weird facts that don't necessarily make any sense. If there's something that you would like to see explained on a future episode of Think Tank, you can leave us a comment below that like button in the comment section.
Or tweet at us.
Or tweet us at Jad Roland at Hannah Cranston _. And we'll see you in another video.